Hey, what's up you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs, and this morning is not a DIY at home project. This is actually my take on something totally different, and that is the unveil of the Tesla Cybertruck. And you'll kind of see the connection with this channel as we go through here. So bear with me if it doesn't seem reasonable that I'd be talking about something like this. So last night out in California, Elon Musk unveiled a long-awaited product for Tesla, and that is their truck, what is called the Cybertruck. This was at one of their unveiling events, kind of probably one of the larger productions that they've done with lasers, and it actually started fairly on time and got right into the product and did a bunch of different demos out there. So from my standpoint, I am a Ford F150 owner, and I've had two back-to-back here. I have the 2018 Ford F150 STX with the 5-liter V8 and the 10-speed transmission with a 6.5-foot bed and 4 doors. So I am the bread and butter Ford F150 consumer. I use my truck, so I have some rental properties, and from this channel doing DIY repairs around the house. It is functional. I am hauling yard debris. I am hauling appliances for the rentals, just overall construction, light construction work. I'm not a day-to-day professional. But the truck gets used, and then it also has to be functional daily, just getting me from point A to B. So the big question is, I'm also a big Tesla fan and a fan of all that Elon's doing and accomplishing. So the question is, the Cybertruck, if you've seen it, there's a ton of review videos already out there. Go look at those. It is an aggressive design, to say the least. I mean, this thing, my first impressions was like what is going on here? He talked about it being the Cyberpunk, thus the Cybertruck being the name, and it is full on. Very aggressive lines. It has a stainless steel body, so it's kind of a throwback to a DeLorean. I think this stainless steel body is a little more durable and much, much thicker, because it's actually the rigidity and strength of the truck. So the Cybertruck, instead of having, like with the Ford, you have your steel frame providing all the rigidity and capability of the truck, and then the body and the overall bed really are just then shells that are put on top of said frame. This thing has an exoskeleton, and that is what's providing the strength. So does that fit my need? And overall, if we look at some of the specs, so I have a few of the specs wrote down, things that might actually be practical for somebody that's using a truck. So overall payload, so how much weight can this thing actually hold in terms of suspensions and just the overall structures? The Cybertruck is somewhere around the 3,500 pound range, and Ford, depending on what vintage you get, can be in the 1,500 to 2,000 pound range. So obviously a massive, almost 2x, really depending on which one you have. Payload capacity, towing as well is going to be well above. The version that I'm looking at is around a 10,000 pound towing limit. And that's going to be over my 7,000 to 8,000 pound for a standard gas or diesel truck. Towing capacity actually goes back to the gear ratio in your differential and the engine, so the whole powertrain combination. So it just depends on which ones you have. The bed is 6.5 foot. That is what I have right now on my Ford. And then obviously the performance 0 to 60 is just way better. It's almost 2x faster. So you're at about 4.5 seconds or faster for the Cybertruck. And in the, again, 8-second range, depending on your differential gear ratios and your engine and just overall powertrain on the Ford F-150. So I'm going with it. I put down the deposit last night right after the event. The design, I'm hoping, is something that grows on you a little bit more. I am all about functionality. So I think there was some cues in there with, they called it, instead of a bed, they called it a quote unquote vault. And that's because it had a cover that rolls down over the bed opening that you can lock up, and it's, I imagine, weather tight as well, keeping the rain out. So that's an awesome feature. Like, that's extremely functional for me. The one I went with was the dual motor design. That should be the first off the assembly line, and that is in the $49,900 range without any rebates. I went for the $7,000 upgrade as well. So you're getting up in the range of $57,000. And if you look at half-ton trucks today, I have an STX, which is like wildly the lowest trim level, or one of the lowest above the XL. But if you get up into the Platinums or some of the other small niche trim packages of the Fords, they can easily get up to that range. So why would a Ford consumer go with the Cybertruck? One, save time. So if I was going to bet on a racehorse in terms of an automaker making it to fully autonomous capabilities, my money is by far on Tesla, and I think they've proven that with a lot of their capabilities right now. So that's going to save you time in your daily commutes possibly, or when you're out and about, especially on the highways. Simplicity is number two. So when you break down an internal combustion engine, like a traditional gas engine, or also a compression engine like a diesel engine, the number of components are freaking insane. We take it for granted now, but just the rotating components, the bearings, the metal on metal surfaces, and all the lubrication needed, the different valve trains, like freaking insane in terms of the number of parts. When you go to an electric motor, and you maybe take that out to a simple transfer case, or you take it out to some type of gear reduction, I wouldn't say transmission, but some type of gear reduction, that's it. That's all you got. So if done right, these, in terms of maintenance and just hassle, it's going to be way simpler. And third is capability. So although the Cybertruck looks completely impractical in terms of just looking to go down the road, and really you can bet on Elon and the team. They're going to build in those features that are going to make it a very functional and extremely capable truck. And I'm just talking about like the 120 and 220 volt plugs that they have in on the truck. So if you had some batteries that you needed charged, or you had some of your power tools like a miter saw or something that's a plug-in, you take down your tailgate, plug it in, and you're going to work, which is a really big thing for me. Onboard compressor is handy, obviously, to fill your own tires and some of the other uses like pneumatic tools. And then, although the body with stainless steel is aggressive in terms of its looks, the dent and scratch resistance. So if you look at the unveiling last night, you will see a sledgehammer taken multiple times to the side of the door, and it holds up to that challenge, and no dents or scratches, which is, again, insane compared to what's currently out there on the market. And then they tried to do, I felt bad for Elon for this, because it really threw him off, and rightfully so. They're doing a ball bearing test. So watch the video. They drop a ball bearing on a a sheet of glass, and do multiple different heights, and it doesn't break. Then they take it over and they throw it at the truck, and it breaks. It completely breaks. The ball doesn't literally go through the glass, but it was a major fail, and you could tell it kind of really threw Elon off. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. I am banking on the design growing on me. But I'm in. I've been waiting for this for a while. I'm going to do the dual motor design. So that's that 49,900 vintage. It has all-wheel drive. I must have that. I don't want just a rear-wheel drive truck, which is a single motor vintage. And I don't necessarily need the three motor. And then the release date is somewhere around the late 2021. That could obviously slip as well. The only other thing associated to what you're watching this on right now, YouTube, and the channel Everyday Home Repairs, and the Cybertruck, like how the heck do these two things go together? One, or this really goes to a goal, and that is the timeline and time frame for me in the release of the Cybertruck is ideal for the progression of this channel. So I intend on releasing videos every other week on average, sometimes more, sometimes less. And I want to see what this channel can do. So if you guys don't know, you can monetize these videos, those little ads that run in front of the video. You get a little bit of revenue through Google AdSense. So right now my channel's plus or minus about $450 a month coming in. So I want to see in that time, can I progress this channel where it pays for the Cybertruck? So really a main focus of everyday home repairs, this channel, will be to continue to progress content and helping people with doing easy fixes around their house for those kind of first-time homeowners and those that are really not very comfortable with a lot of these things, but with a little instruction, they can see it's very easy to swap out a faucet in your bathroom sink or to do weather stripping around your doors, just those simple maintenance items around your house. I want to keep putting those out and keep progressing. So what I'm going to do is also put out monthly updates on this channel for the channel itself and how it's growing and how I'm progressing towards the goal. That is not necessarily for my normal consumers, which are people trying to fix something in the moment around the house, but that's maybe for other YouTube creators. People that are just starting out, what's possible, what do I need to learn, what tools to use, what are you doing well, what are you doing not so well. Those will have at least my lessons learned from progressing through that and trying to get to that goal. The goal is to make enough revenue between now, November 2019, and late 2021, whenever that is, or maybe they'll give me a little more time going into 2022. Can I generate enough revenue from this channel and put everything into a savings account, and will that buy a $49,900 Cybertruck with a $7,000 fully autonomous package on it? That's the goal. So we'll see how it progresses. But overall, Ford F-150 consumer and Cybertruck, I am making the switch. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in one, DIY, or two, just getting update videos on how we're progressing with our goal to purchase that Cybertruck. Subscribe and set that notification bell. And also feel free to give me a like on the video. So thanks for sticking around this long and have a good one.